I think the advantage of being the host for the Meta Leadership Summit is that you have the opportunity to invite all the right people, all the key leaders to participate in a program that will benefit the entire community around leadership activities. And another advantage is that it allows us to look at lists of people that we might not traditionally work with and bring them in and become new partners in new ways.
The value of attending the Meta Leadership Summits are really the connections that you make between public, private, and not-for-profit sectors. I've been involved with the program for a long time, and I have never encountered in my years of doing advisory or consulting work for government or not-for-profit organizations a better way to get connected and networked into a particular community.
And what we're trying to do here today is to build that social cohesion in Atlanta, so that if something were to happen, if a crisis were to happen, you will be resilient. And what has been found in the research in communities is those communities that are prepared before have far less post-traumatic syndrome after an event, because people have built the social cohesion and they can use that social cohesion after the event.
As a member of the host committee, it was important to me that I raise the awareness among our business partners, our community partners, and certainly governmental partners that we were already working really closely with, so that they too could do the type of in-depth planning for their own organizations, but equally important, so that we could build strong collaboration, understand what our combined needs are, and equally important, what our combined strengths are, as we then made a commitment to be a sponsor, because we truly saw it as an investment in our future, the future that we don't necessarily know about, but that we can't afford to ignore.
A Meta Leadership Summit just gives you a chance to know better that person you may sit next to at Rotary, but you really don't know them in a way that could be helpful to you and to them in an emergency. Well, one of the values of being a host is that you are running up the flag and say, I support this. This is important. And with the role that hosts have in their community, then they bring others to the table who say, if public health thinks this is important, then I think we in the hospital community ought to think this is important. Or we in the academic community ought to think this is important. So you begin to reach out, and your host committee becomes a part of that broader partnership you're beginning to build already.
I think there's so much that the government does and the governmental agencies do that a lot of the not-for-profits do, and I don't know that everyone really knows in all cases what the other roles are. I also think there's duplication in a lot of cases, and I think if we can break down those walls and get out of those silos and really be on the same plane, on the same page, that we all have such a significant chance for success, and by success to be as prepared as we possibly can when something does occur and we do have an emergency or disaster in the area.
And what we're hoping to do in terms of building your own leadership capacity is move you in this direction, to identify as a student, consistent student of leadership, how you can incorporate some of those elements of great leadership in the work that you do.
I would encourage anybody to host a Meta Leadership Conference, because one of the things that I've always said, you can never delegate your responsibilities. You can assign responsibilities, but you can't get away from your responsibilities. So I would encourage any CEO, any president who may not know all there is to know about what it is that they should be knowing to get involved.
At the end of the day, it's all about protecting our citizens. And it's how we can build those bridges of cooperation and how we can access those resources during an emergency.
If you looked around the room, you saw something interesting. What we have found is that people who have greater influence over their authority are more effective leaders.
And so being able to serve both as a sponsor and put our resources towards this event, which is very important and very worthwhile, but then also to be involved personally as a local host and make sure that I have used all of the relationships that I can to make sure that we have all the right people in the room.